It is obvious that the world is in a pivotal situation, that all the old certainties have been evaporated or are in the process of being dissolved. War is just one example. As we look at the three current active wars which are going on, we see the transition from tradition to modernity. So, take for example the colonial wars of Israel, which are heavily mechanized and people fighting against an enemy which is massively, massively inferior. In the Donbass, which is eastern Ukraine, you've got the Russians who've turned up with massive armies who are being slaughtered. And the Ukrainians aren't really bothering about the battlefield. What they're doing is smashing up the economic and physical infrastructure of Russia. And finally, we've got the Iran war with the USA. The USA seem to be completely hopeless. They've lost yet another war, which is in a long succession of failure since 1945. So we're in a pivotal position, and we've discussed this in previous videos. We've looked at nuclear warheads, submarines and tanks. However, let's look at the personnel. If war has changed, then the role of a soldier has also changed. In fact, what is a soldier in the modern world? Well, I looked at the Army recruitment website, and they've got the usual traditional stuff that they are expecting their candidates to be physically fit and mentally fit and not to be drug users. In fact, what they're really saying is that their soldiers are very, very much like the soldiers that have always been on a battlefield, but battlefields don't exist anymore. So the question which we have to ask is, if war has changed, why hasn't the concept of a soldier also changed? Indeed, so let's just imagine, apropos nothing, why can't a disabled person in a wheelchair become a soldier? What role could they have? And when you think about it, they could be very successful. If a massed army turned up, like in the First World War, they would be massacred by drones and missiles. It would be like an electronic charge of the Light Brigade, where the people who were on the battlefield were simply murdered and slaughtered and destroyed and were in effect cannon fodder. Soldiers, as we understand it, have changed beyond all recognition.